Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Saturday. My name is Chef Steve, here with Splendid Gents Barbecue. And today, we're going to fire up some fried squash fresh out of the garden and a skirt steak that we're going to dry rub, a slight marinade, and we're going to have that on the grill later on for you. So stay tuned and get ready to have some fun. And we have some fresh local squash here that we grew out in the garden backyard. And later on, when you see us move on to do the steak, you'll see how the whole setup is and everything. So we're down here in the den and we're going to get right down to it. So start off, we have our squash here and we're going to be frying this out in the deep fryer in the garage. So we'll start off by, these squash have been washed already. We're going to cut the ends off. Toss them here in the trash. And these are little crook neck squash, and I like to get them while they're still a little young because they tend to get really tough after a while. But if it is a little tough, since we're frying these in the deep fryer, it really doesn't matter. So I like to disc up the smaller ends right here, and I do them slightly thicker, probably about a ½ inch. They seem to fry up better. Hold up better in the deep fryer. And in the fryer that we have out in the garage, we're using just regular canola oil that you can get from the store. So with the bigger parts on the body, I like to split them in half like so, because they will fit in the fryer better. So like I said, even with the disc, I like to go in, keep them about, a little over a ¼ inch, ½ inch. Seem to fry up better. And once we get them all cut up, we're going to dredge them in flour. And the key when you dredge them in the flour is you want to add a little bit more salt. I tend to notice if you don't put enough salt in the flour, my wife's the first one to notice it all the time, and she's right. It just, the flavors don't show up after it's, in the grease and on the napkin. So I tend to go a little heavy on the salt, and we're using ground sea salt right here. Okay, so now that we have our squash in the bowl, what we're going to do is we're going to dredge it in flour so that we can just flash fry it and start eating right away. Key with this is you want to have the flour sit on the squash about an hour, hour and a half, I guess. All the moisture and the water that's inside the squash actually will come out into the flour. So I got it coated on there. I knock off the excess flour, and you'll see that it doesn't really come around on the rind too much, but all the flour sticks to the moisture on the inside of it. Yep, and I've got about, let's see, 1 pound of all-purpose flour in here, 1/4 cup of black pepper, 1/4 cup of kosher salt, and probably 2 tablespoons of onion powder. Also, with the dried thyme that I have here, probably about 1 tablespoon of that. So right now, what we're going to do while our squash is resting in its flour, let the moisture come out into the flour. It's going to make a real nice coating when we fry that. We're going to trim up our skirt steak here, and what we have is probably about a 4.5, 5 pound skirt steak. So we're going to go in here and we're just going to grab a hold with your fingers. I got some latex gloves on. Just trim off some of the excess fat. Toss it right there in the trash can. There's really not too much silver skin that's on these skirt steaks, which is the skin that holds the tendons and everything to the bone. That can get chewy. If you're just flash grilling it like we're going to do here, we're going to actually cook this fella up to medium rare. That's how Chef Tone and I like to eat our stuff. Now with this steak, you can see it's a little thicker in the middle, and it's not as thick on the ends. So the ends are going to be more medium, where in the inside, when we cook this, it'll be that nice mid-rare. And when we bring it back in here later on to cut it for the tasting, we're going to cut it at a biased cut. And we'll show you how we do that. So we're just getting the main thick pieces off of there real quick, and we're going to flip her over. And as you can see, some of this just pulls right off, and all you got to do is just gently scrape down the side, and it pulls all that excess right off. come underneath at a gentle stroking motion as you pull, whether you're left-handed or right-handed. Get all that excess off of there. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the marinade we have. So what we have right here is I've cut a lemon in half. As you can see, I've got some julienne red bell pepper. I've got some minced garlic here in the bowl. And for our rub, inside here we have some leaf marjoram, 2 tablespoons. I have 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, half a tablespoon of paprika, tablespoon of onion powder, and half a tablespoon of garlic powder. Even though we're going to be using the minced garlic on there, I still actually add a little powder. And we have our black pepper grinder and our sea salt that we're going to put on there. We also have Worcestershire sauce that we're going to add to it. And we're going to give it a light coating of extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so now we're going to go into taking our rub, stir it around a good bit, get all the seasonings nice and even. And then I like to take the lemon. This just gives it a little bit of tang. Lemon juice, like if you're making hollandaise sauce and all that stuff, actually kills some of the bacteria, but this just gives it a little bit of tang and flavor. Just a little bit of hint there. Flip her over. Save the other half for the other side. Give her a little squeeze. Before you cut this lemon, you want to roll the lemon with your palm across the cutting board. It gets a little soft, and then you can squeeze it right out. Then we're going to take our Worcestershire sauce. Give it just a couple little sprinkles. Not too much. This stuff is pretty strong. So you don't want to really overpower it with Worcestershire. You know, a little sprinkle or 2 here on each side. We're going to take our garlic, minced garlic here. Probably about 2 tablespoons in there. Pop it on. Give her a little rub. Flip it over. Drop some more garlic in on this side. We love garlic up here at Splendid Gents Barbecue. We're always cooking with it. Get that nice rub on there. Now we're gonna reach right into the bowl, grab a pinch, gently hold it up over top, give her a nice sprinkle. Sprinkle and rub, sprinkle and rub. So you want to put half on one side, get her rubbed in, the other half on the other side. And it's not too much where you don't really want to put like a whole jacket full of this seasoning on there. Good to go. Little pat, press that garlic right into the meat. These skirt steaks, you know, the grain, they separate a little bit as you can see, and you giving her a nice solid rub on there will get it down in that grain. Now with the red peppers, bell peppers are really sweet this time of year. We're just going to give a little hint. So you put that on there like that, underneath. Lay some on top. Olive oil across the top of this. And that should be enough, because as you flip it around, the oil will get on the bottom of the pan. Then when you go to flip your steak over your piece of meat, you'll have a nice coating of oil on the other side. We're going to grind some pepper across the top. Give her a little shake. Get the sea salt. Pepper this side. Little shake. And some salt. There you have it. Our steak is ready for the grill. We're going to set this aside next to our squash and Chef Tone and I are gonna go light the grill. All right, guys. Well, we just had a thunderstorm come blowing through up here at the den. We had our squash fried. We got it plated down here on the plate. Our steak has rested now for probably about 25 minutes, and we cooked it to 135 or so, 135, 140. So like I said, the ends are probably going to be a little more medium, and the center probably a little more medium rare. We'll see how it does. See, she turned out nice, medium, mid-rare once we get to the center there. Let's give her a taste, shall we? Oh yeah. Nice and simple, nice little char on the skin on the outside. You can actually taste the steak. The fat really cooked into this, brought all the seasonings down in, and letting it rest is key. All the food we cook, meat that we cook, whether it's pork and stuff like that, is resting is totally key. Alrighty guys, this is my take on flank steak, fried squash, little roasted red peppers. I hope you guys like what you see. We're going to be doing plenty more videos here soon, so hit that like button and subscribe to us because we have all kinds of good stuff coming. Thank you for watching the Splendid Gents Barbecue.